that BBC employees lied and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother, made lurid and false claims about
The royal family is no stranger to scandals, but this time, something far more personal is unfolding behind palace walls. A power struggle, hidden from the public eye, is now threatening the very future of the monarchy. The man at the center of it? Prince William. And his silent, ruthless campaign has left Camilla in tears. For decades, Camilla fought to secure her place within the royal family. She endured relentless public scrutiny, whispered conversations and lingering comparisons to Princess Diana. And finally, after years of waiting, she became Queen Consort. But just as she settled into her new role, an unexpected force rose against her. Prince William, Diana's firstborn, was making moves that no one saw coming. His actions weren't loud or obvious. He wasn't launching public attacks or engaging in open confrontations. Instead, his strategy was far more calculated and far more powerful. Insiders claim that he has been working behind the scenes to systematically erase Camilla's influence from the monarchy, ensuring that Diana's legacy remains untouchable. It started with whispers in royal corridors. Advisors noticed the change and subtle power shifts. Camilla's presence at key events was becoming less prominent. Decisions she once influenced over were quietly slipping from her grasp. And then the media took notice. Stories about Princess Diana's legacy were resurfacing. Royal documentaries, commemorative speeches, and carefully crafted public appearances, all centered around Diana's memory, dominated the headlines. The message was clear. Diana's presence in the monarchy was stronger than ever, and Camilla's role was being carefully minimized. But it was one particular moment that truly shattered Camilla, a moment that left her blindsided. Sources close to the palace claimed that, during a high-profile royal gathering, Camilla was expecting to be seated in a position of honor, as any queen consort would. But at the last minute, there was a change. Camilla found herself subtly pushed aside, while Diana's legacy, through her sons, her causes, and even the royal protocols, was brought to the forefront. Camilla was left humiliated, her emotions spilling behind closed doors, and yet there was no one to blame. No scandal, no official statement, just a cold realization that she was being sidelined. Prince William's actions aren't just about personal grievances. This is bigger than family disputes. This is about the future of the monarchy itself. Diana's influence shaped a generation. Her compassion, her rebellion against rigid traditions, and her connection with the people are the values William wants to preserve. But in his pursuit of honoring his mother, he has found himself in direct conflict with the woman who once shattered her world. But this battle isn't just about emotions, it's about power. And in the world of royalty, power determines everything. The question is, who will emerge victorious? In the summer of 2021, a quiet but powerful moment took place in the heart of Kensington Palace's sunken garden. Prince William stood before a newly unveiled statue of his mother, Princess Diana. His expression was calm, but the weight of the moment was undeniable. It was a tribute to a woman who had reshaped the image of the monarchy, a mother whose influence had never faded. The world watched as William honored Diana's memory, but one person was noticeably absent: Camilla, and her absence spoke louder than words. Royal events are carefully orchestrated, and every detail is planned to perfection. If Camilla wasn't there, it wasn't by accident. Insiders whisper that her absence was a direct result of the growing tensions within the royal family. The event itself was meant to be a simple tribute, but beneath the surface, it was a statement. The unveiling of Diana's statue wasn't just about the past, it was about the future. A future where her legacy still held the throne, where her name was not just remembered, but reinforced. As Prince William spoke, the impact of his words became clear. His tribute described Diana as a force for good, a woman who forever changed the royal family. He spoke of her compassion, her courage, and her deep connection with the people. But it wasn't just a speech, it was a message. Every carefully chosen word positioned Diana as the guiding light of the monarchy. And the unspoken contrast? Camilla. For weeks after the event, the media focused entirely on Diana. Front-page headlines, special reports, and social media tributes all revolved around her. Camilla's presence, her work, and even her role as Queen Consort faded into the background. It was as if, for a moment, time had reversed. Diana was the center of attention again, and Camilla was once more overshadowed. Palace insiders claim that Camilla was deeply shaken by the reaction. She had spent decades working to rebuild her image, to establish her place in the monarchy. Yet, with one simple event, she found herself in Diana's shadow again. But this was more than a tribute. It was the first step in a long and deliberate campaign to reshape the monarchy. William wasn't just honoring his mother, he was reminding the world who she was and, more importantly, who Camilla wasn't. This wasn't a spontaneous wave of public admiration, it was strategy. And the Queen Consort was just beginning to see how far William was willing to go. When Queen Elizabeth formally announced that Camilla would be given the title of Queen Consort, the world saw a moment of unity within the royal family. It seemed like the final chapter in a long, complicated history. Camilla was finally being accepted, and the monarchy was moving forward. But behind closed doors, things were far from settled. Prince William wasn't on board, and insiders revealed that his resistance ran much deeper than anyone realized. For Camilla, this title was more than just words. It was the culmination of years of patience, silent endurance, and strategic moves. She had gone from being the most hated woman in Britain to securing a place by King Charles' side. But for William, this wasn't just about tradition, it was about his mother. Diana's words from her infamous interview still echoed in the minds of millions. There were 3 of us in this marriage. Those words cemented a deep resentment toward Camilla, one that William had never truly let go of. According to leaked palace documents, William quietly challenged the decision. He questioned whether the public was truly ready to accept Camilla in this role, especially given the painful history. He wasn't alone. Many within the monarchy had reservations, but unlike them, William had something more powerful on his side: Diana's legacy, and he intended to use it. His opposition wasn't open defiance. He didn't argue publicly or make bold statements. Instead, he played the long game. Slowly, methodically, he began shaping the narrative, ensuring that every step Camilla took towards cementing her role as Queen Consort would be met with an even stronger reinforcement of Diana's enduring influence. It started with speeches, carefully worded to highlight Diana's impact while subtly sidelining Camilla's presence. Then came the media strategy. Every major event Camilla attended seemed to be overshadowed by a resurfaced story about Diana. And the public response was clear. No matter how much time had passed, Diana still held the people's hearts. Camilla's title might have been official, but the acceptance she had fought for remained fragile. William knew that, and he used it to his advantage. He didn't need to openly challenge Camilla's position. He only needed to remind the world of the woman who should have been standing where she was now. But William's tactics weren't just verbal. He started executing a plan that would slowly diminish Camilla's influence, one that no one saw coming. In the royal family, appearances are everything. Publicly, they present a united front, a family standing together through tradition, duty, and history. But behind the polished smiles and carefully staged moments, the truth is much more complicated. And for Camilla, that truth became impossible to ignore. Over the years, she had worked tirelessly to be accepted, to secure her place beside King Charles. But one thing was clear: she would never truly be part of William and Kate's inner circle. No matter her title, no matter her status, she remained on the outside, looking in. And this wasn't by accident. For years, something unusual had been happening. Key family events, private celebrations, children's birthdays, and even simple Sunday gatherings were held. Yet, Camilla was absent, and not just once or twice, over and over again she was missing. On paper, it seemed like bad timing, just unfortunate scheduling conflicts. But insiders say otherwise. They claim that William and Kate were making a deliberate effort to distance their family from Camilla, ensuring that she never became a real influence on their children, the heirs to the throne. At first, it was subtle. When Prince George had a school function, Camilla was already booked for another engagement. When Princess Charlotte's birthday party was held, Camilla's schedule was mysteriously packed. Even when Prince Louis was christened, the event was kept small, with only a select few attending. But these weren't coincidences. They were calculated moves, quiet but firm decisions that kept Camilla from building any meaningful relationship with William's children. She might have been the Queen Consort, but when it came to the future of the monarchy, she had no real influence. Palace staff began to notice. They whispered about the polite but distant relationship between William's family and Camilla. While the press captured images of them smiling at royal engagements, behind the scenes the atmosphere was different. There were no warm conversations, no shared moments of genuine affection. William and Kate treated Camilla with formality, with the kind of respect that was expected, but never with the closeness of true family. And that, perhaps, was the most powerful message of all. Many believe this was William's way of protecting his mother's legacy. He wanted his children to grow up knowing who Diana was and what she stood for. And to do that, he had to ensure that Camilla's presence in their lives was minimal. Diana's story would be passed down through them, not rewritten or reshaped by Camilla's influence. He wanted them to see Diana as their grandmother, the guiding light in their family's history, and that meant keeping Camilla at arm's length. For Camilla, this quiet exclusion was devastating. She had spent years fighting for acceptance, working to prove that she belonged, but in William's eyes, she would always be a reminder of the past, a shadow over his mother's memory. And as the distance between them grew, the cracks in the royal family became impossible to ignore. Because this wasn't just about personal relationships, it was about the future of the monarchy itself. A future where Diana's influence remained strong, while Camilla's presence slowly faded from view. And no matter how carefully it was orchestrated, one thing was clear: this was no accident. It was a strategy, a quiet, deliberate move to shape the next generation of royals. And Camilla was losing the battle. When Prince William sat down to speak about his mother in a BBC documentary, the world expected a heartfelt tribute. And that's exactly what they got. But beneath the carefully chosen words and composed demeanor, something far more powerful was happening. William never mentioned Camilla, not once, yet the message was loud and clear. This wasn't just about remembering Diana. It was about reminding the world of what she stood for, and how her legacy stood in direct contrast to the woman who had taken her place. In the documentary, William spoke with warmth and conviction. He painted a picture of Diana as a trailblazer, a woman who transformed the monarchy with her kindness and connection to the people. But one sentence stood out: Diana showed you can be a royal and be normal. It was a simple statement, but one that carried enormous weight. Because if Diana was the royal who could be normal, what did that make Camilla? A figure of tradition? A symbol of the old ways? The contrast was impossible to ignore. Royal experts immediately dissected his words. The public response was immediate. Social media is flooded with comparisons. News outlets ran headlines that reignited the debate over Diana's legacy versus Camilla's place in the monarchy. And the timing couldn't have been worse for Camilla. She had spent years working to gain public acceptance, carefully reshaping her image from the woman at the center of a scandal to a respected royal figure. But one documentary had undone much of that progress. Without attacking her directly, William had reminded the world why many still struggled to embrace Camilla's role. Insiders claim that behind palace doors the reaction was tense. Camilla reportedly felt blindsided, while King Charles remained silent on the matter. But William wasn't concerned with the fallout. He understood something far more important: the power of perception. He knew that in the battle of public opinion, words were often more powerful than actions. And with just a few carefully spoken lines, he had shifted the narrative back in his mother's favor. But William wasn't just working on public perception. He was taking action behind palace doors, ensuring that Diana's influence wasn't just remembered, it was protected. And Camilla was beginning to realize that. Her battle for a lasting legacy had only just begun. Jewelry in the royal family is never just decoration. Each piece carries history, power, and meaning. And no collection holds more emotional weight than that of Princess Diana. Her sapphire engagement ring, her pearl chokers, and her diamond-studded tiaras each tell a story of love, heartbreak, and a legacy that refuses to fade. But after Diana's passing, one question remained: who would inherit these treasured symbols of her life? When Prince William proposed to Kate Middleton, he made a choice that sent a powerful message. He placed on her finger the same sapphire ring that his father had once given Diana. It was a ring that the world recognized instantly, a ring that had been worn by a woman who captured the hearts of millions. But what many people don't know is that this ring had once belonged to Prince Harry. After Diana's passing, her sons were allowed to choose a piece of her jewelry. Harry had picked the sapphire engagement ring. William had chosen her gold Cartier watch. But years later, when William decided to propose, Harry made a sacrifice. He handed over the ring, saying that it was only right for Diana's ring to be on the finger of the future queen. That moment cemented Diana's presence in the next generation of royals. But there was another layer to this decision, one that went beyond romance. William had ensured that Kate, not Camilla, would be the one wearing Diana's most famous jewel. And that decision was not just about love, it was about control. He wanted the world to see Diana's legacy carried forward through Kate. In doing so, he quietly kept Camilla at a distance from one of the most powerful symbols of his mother's influence. Camilla, now Queen Consort, has access to some of the most dazzling royal jewels. But one thing has become clear: Diana's pieces remain in William and Kate's possession, and the message is unmistakable. While Camilla may hold a title, she will never be the true face of the monarchy's future. She will never be connected to Diana's memory in the way that Kate is. Insiders have even claimed that Camilla is visibly uncomfortable whenever Kate wears Diana's jewelry. It is a reminder that no matter how much time has passed, Diana's presence still looms over her. But this was just one part of a much bigger plan. William wasn't just honoring his mother's memory, he was making strategic moves to ensure that her influence remained unshakable. And Camilla was about to learn that the battle over Diana's legacy was far from over. Power in the royal family isn't just about titles, it's about control, and behind the grand palaces, the glittering crowns, and the carefully staged public appearances, a hidden war was being fought. Prince William wasn't just honoring his mother's memory, he was ensuring that her influence would shape the monarchy's future. And to do that, he had to dismantle Camilla's growing power. The public saw a monarchy that appeared stable, a family moving forward under King Charles's reign, but behind closed doors, things were shifting. William was making quiet but decisive moves, restructuring palace operations in a way that would weaken Camilla's role without anyone realizing it. And his first step? The staff. Insiders claim that William began surrounding himself with trusted advisors, people who had no loyalty to Camilla. He positioned key figures in roles that would give him more direct control over royal decision-making. Some of these changes seemed small, with adjustments in communication strategies and minor shifts in scheduling. But over time, they added up to something much bigger. Then came the media narrative. The royal press office had always been a powerful tool, shaping how the monarchy was perceived by the public. But William understood something critical. He didn't need to attack Camilla outright. He only needed to shift the attention back to Diana. And so, carefully timed stories began to emerge. Headlines about Diana's humanitarian work resurfaced. Old interviews were replayed. Documentaries, tribute articles, even simple photo comparisons. Slowly, the public conversation turned back to the woman who had once been called the people's princess. And with every story about Diana's lasting impact, Camilla's presence faded a little more. Some royal experts believe William was building what they called a shadow court, a separate power structure within the palace that operated independently from Camilla's influence. He wasn't challenging her directly, but he was making sure that key royal responsibilities, major decision-making, and even public appearances were strategically positioned to keep her role limited. Events that once might have highlighted Camilla's contributions were now overshadowed by William and Kate's increasing visibility. While Camilla was the Queen Consort, it was William and Kate who were shaping the monarchy's future. Camilla had spent decades working to be accepted. She had finally secured her title, gained the respect of royal insiders, and established herself as King Charles's closest confidant. But she was beginning to realize that power within the royal family was never truly given, it was taken, and William was taking it, bit by bit. The tension was growing, but the battle was far from over. Because the final and most strategic move wasn't just about the present, it was about the past. William knew that the way history remembered Diana and Camilla would shape how the monarchy was viewed for generations to come. And so, he set his sights on the ultimate prize, controlling how the world would tell their story. The battle for influence within the royal family is not just about the present, it is about the future. And Prince William knows that. He isn't just protecting his mother's memory, he is shaping the monarchy itself. Every move he has made, every quiet decision behind palace doors, has been leading to this. The question isn't just who holds power now, it's who will hold it in the years to come. William's children are being raised in the shadow of Princess Diana's legacy. They know her story, they see her image, and they hear about her kindness, her strength, and her love for the people. They are growing up with a grandmother they never met, but who is more present in their lives than Camilla will ever be. Insiders reveal that William has ensured Diana's values remain alive in the next generation of royals. Whether it is through the charities he supports, the way he speaks about the monarchy, or the personal lessons he passes down to his children, one thing is certain: Diana's influence is not fading. If anything, it is growing stronger. Camilla, despite holding the title of Queen Consort, remains a distant figure in this narrative. She may stand beside King Charles, but her role in shaping the future of the monarchy is limited. The real focus is on William and Kate, the next in line, the couple who will define what the royal family looks like in the modern world. And William has made it clear Diana's vision is the one he wants to carry forward. But is this just about justice for his mother, or is there something more? Some royal experts believe William is not only honoring Diana's memory, but also rewriting history in his image. He has learned from the past. He knows the power of public perception. By keeping Diana's legacy alive, while subtly minimizing Camilla's influence, he is ensuring that the future of the monarchy belongs to his side of the story. The royal chess game continues, with pieces moving silently across the board. But in the end, who will have the final checkmate? Will William's strategy succeed in preserving his mother's legacy, or will history find a way to balance the scales? The battle is not over, and the monarchy's future is still being written. But one thing is certain, Diana's presence has never been stronger. And Camilla, no matter her title, will always be standing in her shadow. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click on the link showing on your screen to check out our next video. See you there.